everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies, and today we're doing Friday the 13th 5.
A New Beginning.
A New Beginning.
Now, so should I start talking about the movie, Safi?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is one where I really hated it, and a lot of people... Well, not right now. Okay, this is one where when I was younger, I hated it, as well as I felt like it was one of the black sheeps of the series. Because it doesn't have Jason in it at all, and there's some goofy things about it, like the chocolate bar thing, and the actor playing Tommy is not very good. Well, he's okay. He's very, very...
quiet.
Reserved and, just not that interesting. But that's just this movie, Maybe if he was in another sequel, he could have had character development where he was more brighter, let's just say. But then it feels like at a certain point, a lot of fans of the series started liking this movie a lot in a way where it kind of feels disingenuous. There's a lot of people who say that this is the best movie of the series. And it feels like a reverse Halloween 3 effect. Where, Halloween 3, when it came out, it was very, very good. But people thought it was trash because it didn't have Michael Myers in it. They couldn't handle watching Halloween without Michael Myers. And so... everyone considered it to be the worst. But then over time, they realized that they were wrong and that it was very good. And that it was just a good, horror movie. But I feel like sort of like a reverse effect has happened with Friday the 13th Part 5, where that movie never was really that good. But now all these people who used to hate it, they all really, really like it now because... they feel bad about hating it so much or something. Because it just feels like, really? Out of the first 4 movies, this is the one that you champion? It is, I do think it's okay. I don't think it's as bad as I used to. I don't think it's, really, really bad and boring like I used to, but it's still just okay. I don't really see it as this fantastic movie with other movies in the series, parts 2 and 3. And then even the last 25 minutes of part 4, I really thought that was... The last 25 minutes of part 4, I would actually say, is the best stuff in the whole series so far. If it's better than the first 3 movies combined, and it's better than this. But overall movies, I would say that 2 and 3 are definitely better still. Safi?
Well...
What does that mean?
I figured out one thing, and that's... I guess the new trend for these movies are a final girl and... a kid. And then I guess there was another adult boy, but they're the ones that go through almost 99% of all the stuff in the end together, like in the previous movie. And then the other thing is there's lots of thunderstorms.
Yeah.
And darkness. So there's no day thunderstorms, they're all at night. Which makes things more dangerous, scary.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like the fact that they had the thunderstorms, I like that a lot. I didn't have a problem with that in particular. That wasn't one of the flaws of the movie. I felt like the atmosphere was good, obviously. In all these movies so far, they have had good atmosphere, for sure.
And I don't know, but I have a feeling that even though it's found out that the majority of the murders are committed by Roy, the paramedic, which I had to listen to a few times to make sure that I got that right. I think Tommy may have done a couple.
Really?
Well, they said that his son and he was the Roy's son, who he didn't have much to do with or something. He didn't live with them. He was killed by somebody else. And so anyway, but before then, by a guy who was at the place, I don't know what you want to call it, retreat, camp, or house in the woods, institution in the woods. It's Pinehurst, but I'm just not sure what it was because they didn't do any treatment. There was no group sessions. There was nothing. They just ran around and doing whatever they wanted.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the big flaws of the movie, but we're not to that yet.
Oh, I know. But anyway, before that, though, there was a couple, I don't know what she was, a waitress, and then a guy coming to see her at this restaurant. I thought that happened before then, before that kid got killed at the place. Remember, they got killed at that restaurant.
No, that happens like halfway through the movie.
I thought that happened at the very beginning.
No.
And then there were two boys, men, guys, whatever, who were working on a car. And one has to go to the bathroom, and the other one is trying to get it started. And let's see, the guy who's I don't even know which one got killed first, but they both end up getting killed. I thought that happened before the guy, the boy, his son got killed.
No kills happened before the son got killed,
really?
Safi. No.
Okay.
I wouldn't say anything else about that because you're gonna look bad on the video.
Well, I guess I'm bad.
You're gonna get another comment where they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about because you have an opinion different than mine." Remember that?
Well, that's too damn bad. Okay. Anyway, there's at least 13 people, and I think I'm off. That get killed in the movie. If you count those 4, then you have 2 people that are, I don't know, like townies who don't like the place where all the mental institution place, they don't like it and they want it to go away. They get killed. So that's 2, 4, 6. And then a guy who shows up, and I thought, well, maybe he's the person, the bad guy.
The killer.
But what happens is he's watching this couple from the mental institution place. He watches them have sex, and then while that happens, he gets killed. So there's another one. And he had been at the townie's house cleaning up the chicken coop in exchange for food. So he's not it either. So he got killed.
So, but here's the question, because I already said whether I liked the movie or not. Did you like the movie or what?
Well,
because I just thought it was okay.
It was okay. It wasn't outstanding.
Yeah.
I like the action at the end.
Yeah.
And I know they do have these periodic bouts of kids, or whatever you want to call them, getting attacked and then getting killed, but those go boom, boom, and it's over. Boom, boom, it's over. And then this thing at the end, that draws out, and there's suspense,
Yeah.
They think, oh, I've got him. Oh, no, you haven't, because he's going after them again. And then, the woman finds a chainsaw. That's another thing that seems to characterize the series as somebody finds a chainsaw.
What do you mean?
Well, she finds a chainsaw, but then I guess it runs out of gas.
Yeah, that was really great.
And she throws it at him not very well. And then she has to run, and she's with the kid, and that poor kid, he's like an orphan now. Oh, that's right. His brother and his girlfriend, they were killed too.
Yeah.
That's another 2, so that's like maybe 15, 16.
Yeah, they upped the kill count.
I forgot about
which I think that they did that to compensate for the fact that they're not allowed to show the full kills because of the biased, stupid-ass MPA ratings board. You know, because I really liked the kills in this movie, but I hated how they were censored. I felt like it was very formulaic like usual, which was really tough because like Safi said, it takes away a lot of the suspense because you know that like these certain people, they're going to be killed. And like, you know, Safi, did you know that woman would be the final girl?
No.
Like as soon as you saw her?
No,
because
no, that's not true. I thought she would be.
As soon as she came out of the house,
she's with the kid.
She was
protecting him.
She was like, "Here I am," and I was like, "Yeah, here's the final girl." Like that's exactly like the first thing I thought was like, "Oh, look, it's the final girl," because it's just so obvious. Unfortunately. But I did think that she was a step up from the final girl from the last movie.
Well, she was a grown-up.
She was a lot...
She wasn't a kid.
She was a lot better looking and a better character and just overall better all the way around. And in general, I felt like that was the strength of this movie was that even though the characters weren't that great, I felt like the characters were a lot better than the previous movie. There were actual characters. You know, like you had Reggie, the kid. I really liked him.
Yes, he had a personality.
I really liked his uncle or grandpa.
I don't know who he was.
His grandpa.
He got killed too, though.
I really liked his brother a lot. I liked the goth girl who dances in her bedroom. I liked... who else did I like?
That was exactly like... girls, that was like a Madonna thing.
Really?
She was dressed like her, back in 1985. It was made in 1985, 1984, 85, and that's when Madonna was really popular, and those are the kinds of clothes she wore. And, anyway. And her hair was even kind of like hers, too.
So I liked a lot of these characters. And I felt like they were better characters than... usual. Like they had something to them, most of them, and even the final girl. And it's just unfortunate because one of the big flaws of the movie, because it's not a great movie, it's just okay. One of the flaws is that there is no treatment at this treatment center at all.
No,
like,
they're just left to their own devices.
All that we see them do is they do some chores, and like that's all they're assigned to do. We never see any sort of treatment at all. And I felt like that was a huge letdown because you had the opportunity to explore Tommy's character and, find out what happened to his sister. Why don't we see his sister visiting him? And like what is going on inside his head, and you could have taken that opportunity to develop the other characters too, and to give them more character, and have them talk in group therapy sessions like in
Saw
Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
and Monk.
No, Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
But I'm just thinking about why couldn't they have done that? They didn't have to spend a lot of time doing it. They could have done at least one.
That would have really helped, in my opinion.
Well, it just gives it more context.
Instead of just adding...
realism.
Yeah, and instead of just adding more slashing scenes.
Yeah.
Add, like, a character scene as well.
Yeah, I would have... Tommy was... He was very quiet.
Yeah.
And they could have had him speak, like you said, at a group session. And the only thing that they saw him do, one of the other... I don't know what you want to call it, inmates, people, residents. One of the residents came in, but they were wearing a mask and surprised Tommy, and he got pissed off and he beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, that was something. Again, because there were moments like that where it's like, oh, that's something. That's character.
Well, I wasn't sure, though, because he brought some mask with him. Remember, there was a scene in which he's showing, or he's looking at them, and Reggie comes over. Well, he scared Reggie with one, and then Reggie came over and found out that he makes the mask. And so I don't know if that was one of his, or the guy just had one and he surprised Tommy and made him mad. I don't know. Because that wasn't the one of them that he showed Reggie.
Yeah. And
so
and I also thought, you know what? If you wanted to make us think that Tommy was the killer more so, you know what you should have done? You should have had the bad guy, Jason, a.k.a. Roy, you should have had him wear one of Tommy's masks when he kills people, at least, like, once. You know, like, maybe when he goes inside the rehabilitation house, he goes upstairs and he's like, oh, that's a cool mask, and he puts it on and kills the people in the house. That could have made us think a little bit more that Tommy was the killer, because I was never really convinced that he was the killer, because I thought, you know what, if he is the killer, is that why he's so, like, uninteresting and uncharismatic? Like, because he's just such, like, a blank slate? Like, the killers in this movie, or the people who you think could be the killers, they all just kind of stare into space.
Yeah.
Like they're really unhappy with life. And then everybody else, you know, they're all having sex and smiling and laughing and things. But the possible killers, they're like, it's like me. It's like me when I had to watch the Barbie movie. You know, that's what I looked like. I looked like Roy. Do you like Roy, Safi?
I don't know.
I think that they blew it with Roy, because I felt like, you know, this is a guy, he's not a monster person like Jason. You had an opportunity to have a character here. You had an opportunity to have him talk and have him, like, have some sort of a character in this movie, and you blew it because he only said, like, 2 things the whole movie.
I don't know. I don't remember him saying anything unless it was at the very beginning when he was being a paramedic.
He said something to, like, the sheriff or something, like, in the middle of the movie, and that's it.
Yeah, it would have been a scene like that.
That was kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, you know, they found out that a couple was missing, the director was missing, the people told the final woman, and so she went looking for him in the truck, and Tommy had also disappeared, because what happened was when they went to visit the brother of Reggie and his girlfriend, the townie guy came up with this motorcycle, and Tommy got mad at him, I think, and he hit him or something. And so he went riding back home, but Tommy ran away. And so then you think, wow. And then he's gone for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, is he the one? But how could that be? Because in other times, the way he shows up and everything, or the way he appears, it doesn't seem like the time is right. In other words, he couldn't have been, and he wasn't, of course. It was Roy. But you wondered, where is he? He just disappears for a long time. You don't even know where he is. And you never find out either what happened to him, what he was doing. I guess it wasn't important.
I really felt like one of the reasons why I'm trying to be nicer to the movie is because I do feel like they did the best with what they had for the most part. You know, Corey Feldman, he could not be in the full movie because he was making The Goonies. Mm. So he could only be in that opening scene, which it was great to see him again. And then also, they could not get the guy who played Jason back. He did not want to do it for some reason, and he actually regretted that later on in life. So, you know, both of those things, it was kind of weird to me, because as a kid, I always thought that those changes were done on purpose. Like, I didn't know that, like, they were forced into this position because elements from the previous movie couldn't work for this one.
Well, I wondered what it had been like if Corey Feldman had been in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because since they had made it not that long before this one, he hadn't really grown and matured a lot. So it had to have been changed or altered in a certain way to fit. He can't turn into a 19-year-old teenager when he's like 12.
No.
Starting out at 12. So they would have had to alter the story somehow. I don't know what they would have done, but it would have been different. It wouldn't have been this.
I didn't like what they did with his sister, or lack thereof, because it reminded me a lot of Child's Play 2, where Andy's mother, you know, at the beginning of the movie, it's like, oh, she's in an asylum, and so he's not going to be with her ever again. Like, I did not like that.
I don't know. I just, it really would have been interesting if they could have had him in it. Because he really did enhance the previous movie.
Yeah.
And this guy, and I
he
don't
saved
say
the
he was
movie.
Bad. He was just quiet.
Yeah, he was
Very quiet.
And let's see, has he done anything else of note? Tommy. And so my favorite part of the movie, I still think my favorite part of the movie was probably like the end. The ending with the last 25 minutes with the chasing, and no, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, that figures. Mark Twain and Me, what the fuck is that? Ew. That looks like a piece of crap. Talia Shire? Ew. Ew. Power Play? What's that? Ew. Ew, it's like a hockey movie. Ew. Oh, it's a Christian hockey movie. Oh God. How dare they disgrace hockey with weirdo over the top like messaging. Ew. It doesn't look good. What else has he done? Hot Paint. Ew. Ew, it looks like a really obscure piece of crap. Ew. Ew. Okay, so let's not think about him anymore, because that's pretty depressing. Right, Safi?
Well, it kind of is not surprising, just because he was so quiet.
Yeah. But he had potential, like, he had a leading man look. It is surprising that he hasn't been in anything else, like, at least, like, one movie as a leading man. So, again, my favorite part was the last part of the movie, once again, because there were some parts, I was really starting to like the movie a lot, like, in the first 30 minutes, but there were these parts in the middle where the movie really slowed down.
Yes.
And there were these just slow sequences where people get killed. People get killed. People get killed.
It's almost like it's a cover for not doing anything else.
Yeah, it's like a mirage or a.
It's a cover. It's a kind of a distraction.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they had a lot more kills in this one than they have in any of them.
Yeah, and then of course at the last 30 minutes it speeds up again, and that's when it gets better. So.
And you can feel the tension too and the suspense.
What was your favorite kill?
I don't know. I don't like that stuff.
I don't know. I would have to say
in the end.
I thought
killing
that
him.
Killing Roy was actually the best kill of the movie, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Who did you find most attractive in the movie, Safi?
Oh God.
Which one was your favorite?
I don't know.
Which one was your favorite?
I don't know.
Why
I
not?
don't have any favorite.
Why not? You didn't like
Marco.
The final girl, she was an improvement. Like, I would say so far, Jenny from part 2 is obviously the best, and then the girl from this movie would be in number 2. She also was kind of elevated by the kid a little bit again, though.
Yeah.
Like, the one from part 4 was elevated by Corey.
Right.
So, maybe that's the secret to these movies, is you have a girl, a final girl, and a kid.
Yeah.
And the kid has to be really good, or else it wouldn't work at all.
And both the guy who plays Reggie, and then of course Corey Feldman, they're both really good.
I just really wish that Reggie's brother would have survived so that he could have taken care of Reggie.
I know he has nobody now. His grandpa or uncle, whoever he was, he got killed too. We didn't even see it.
Yeah.
They just found his body.
Yeah.
Which I don't need to see it. But still, the point is he got killed.
So
Reggie doesn't have anybody.
Yeah, he doesn't have. He's like the kids in the Chucky series.
Yep.
So overall, I kind of like the movie. I will watch it again, but it got a little boring in the middle, and there were a lot of things that could have been improved upon. But I still like 2 and 3 better so far. Safi?
I don't know.
Well, you're not ranking it.
I don't know. I kind of like this, but then I'm thinking we already talked about this, but there didn't need to be as many kills because some of the people who were killed, like let's say the people at the cafe and the 2 guys who were working on the car, they had no bearing on the story at all.
Oh yeah. Well,
and I think if they just
they were characters.
Yeah, but they didn't have any bearing.
Yeah.
Nobody saw them unless at the beginning you see. But I thought this was somewhere else. You see 2 guys breaking into. Or was that a dream? Maybe it was just a dream that Tommy was having. You saw them break into Jason Voorhees' grave, and he's got actually a concrete slab over his burial place, and then they move the slab, and Jason gets up from the grave, and he kills both of them.
No, that was the dream. Remember, Safi?
That was the dream. Okay.
You don't remember
that's
that?
What I thought.
That was Corey Feldman watching that.
Yeah, they had the real Corey Feldman, who was at least in the very beginning of the movie. So, anyway.
Oh, yeah, we did not talk about how it... Now, there is a very funny kind of 80s stupid thing, and that is at the beginning of this movie, you have, of course, a fat person stereotype who isn't good at anything besides eating, and he's eating chocolate bars, and first he interacts with these girls, and of course they treat him like trash because he's not a pretty boy.
Right.
And then he goes over to talk to this guy who's chopping wood.
And he's got an anger management problem, obviously.
And he ends up killing the fat guy.
And that's Roy's son. Right?
That is the ambulance guy's son, which sets him off, and he becomes the killer of the movie. And for that, I would just say, again, it was a letdown because they had the opportunity to have a character here, and they blew that opportunity. Like, he never gets that Pamela Voorhees moment where he gets to have a long monologue about how, the boys let Jason drown. He never got to have that moment or anything like that. And so it just was kind of like, okay, that was kind of a missed opportunity. And it was kind of goofy, and I didn't like I didn't like that character too, that fat guy character.
Well, that was the first time you saw him. I don't remember, when Tommy comes and he meets several people. He's not even with them, I think.
Yeah.
They don't even show him. He just showed up. He appeared that day when the girls are doing laundry. They're hanging up clothes outside on the line. And then the guy's chopping wood. And that's it.
What'd you think of that whole ordeal, Safi?
What ordeal?
Well, like, just the fact that, like, Roy is the killer and he is the father of this fat guy. Like, did you like that, or did you think that was, like,
Well, it's just...
little silly?
They just say it. There's no...
There's no meaning to it.
Yeah, there's no meaning to it. It's just a statement. He was his son, and he never was with him. Or
He
something.
fell apart. After his son's death, he fell apart.
Yeah, it was just all words. There was no... This is a video. This is a movie. We've been through this before, too. Where that's what a book does. They say words and describe things because you don't see it. You're reading it or listening to it on an audiobook. A video, they have a chance, that's what it's a video for, to show.
Yeah, show not tell.
Right. That's what it's for. And that's the beauty of it. You know, if you make movies, you get to show. And it's a challenge. And you have to meet the challenge. So.
What would you rate Part 5 in terms of food?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Well, I think I just would... We had a DiGiorno cheese-filled crust pepperoni pizza. And I thought it was okay. And that's how I think about that pizza. It's okay. You know, I'm not going to turn it down. And I don't know if it's as good as, like, Domino's or something, but it's okay. And, you know, they tried their best. I just wish... it's just too bad Corey Feldman couldn't have been in, because I would have loved to have seen what they were going to do.
Yeah, and the next one, they recast Tommy, and the guy who plays him, he's very, well, you'll see.
Yeah, I've never seen any of these movies before, so I don't know. They're all right. It just seems like there's certain characteristics that define them, and I agree with Marco. There's some slow parts.
Yeah.
In the middle.
It really gets slow.
And then the thing with, it's supposed to be like a treatment center or something.
And there's no treatment.
There's no treatment whatsoever. They're just allowed to run all over the place and do what they want. In fact, the only thing they say, who does he tell this to? The director, who ends up getting killed. He says, the purpose of it is to get, for Tommy anyway, I think he told the sheriff. He said, we want to get him integrated back into regular society.
It's like, how's that going to happen now? At the end of the movie. Like, he's even worse off at the end of the movie than he was at the beginning, so
yeah.
They're fucked with that.
Yeah. So, anyway, what are you going to rank it? Or rate it? Sorry.
I would rate it, well, the first time that I saw the movie was an afternoon after school, and I got Taco Bell. And usually when I got Taco Bell at that time, when I was like 10 years old, or 11 or 12, I would get 3 cheese chicken quesadillas and a medium Dr. Pepper. And that's what I would rate this movie, because now I really don't like just getting chicken quesadillas at Taco Bell. I like to get something like a burrito, or I like to get chips and cheese, or a Dorito Loco Taco. They didn't have those when I saw this movie. And so that's what this movie is. It's 3 chicken quesadillas with Dr. Pepper. And that, you know, that's just, it's okay. It's not the greatest Taco Bell meal, but it's not the worst. It's just, it's okay. I would eat it again. I would watch this movie again. I don't think it's the best of the series, though, at all. Like, I don't know how anyone could say that, because it's just, it doesn't even have Jason in it. It has Roy. So that's automatically a downgrade.
They're just turning him into a serial killer. I mean,
yeah.
You know, that's the thing. He's supposed to be associated with that lake and drowning and camping.
Yeah.
Or the camp. What happened to all that?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Ugh.
All that matters is the formula.
Yeah.
Teenagers have sex. Teenagers get killed. Final girl defeats Jason.
With the help
end.
of a kid.
The end.
Now, well, what kills me, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Michael Myers.
And I did like a lot of the music in this movie.
Yeah,
I felt like
was good.
the music was a big improvement on part 4 as well.
It's by the same composer.
I really felt like the Jason was a letdown again, though, because in part 4, Jason was actually pretty scary. And, like, there were certain moments, like, near the end of part 4 where he busts through the front door, and that was, like, really, really scary. But in part 5, he's just kind of, like, he's not the same. So, I wish that they would have at least made him the same as part 4 Jason, in terms of, like, how he moved and did everything that he did, because that was also lacking, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I think we're done here. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to become one of our subscribers.
Yeah.
So we can hear your feedback about this series, about this movie, about other Friday the 13th movies, whatever you want to talk about, okay? That has to do with movies and TV shows. Okay? Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.